We are starting our technical session dot on time, and we have time until 2:30, which means we have about 1 hour and 40 minutes at our disposal. And we have 6 panel members with us on the dais. I would quickly like to name them. Professor Vidyanand Jha, who is a professor at IIM Kolkata. IIM Calcutta actually. Professor J.P. Sharma is the director IMS Ghaziabad. Professor D.K. Agarwal, who is the Dean at Modi University, Lakshmangarh. Dr. Rajneesh Das is the President of Catalyst Constellations. We have Mr. Arpit Chadha, Vice Chairman, ITS the Education Group. We have Mr. Braj Kishore Gupta, who is President of Giant Step. We also have Mr. Arvind Pase, the editor of the Education Post. And the theme that has been given to us, which we will be discussing now, is acceptance of virtual and plastic money. Does it need a healthy mix of management technique and formal education? Now, this topic is really very contemporary. The phase is still on, at least until 30th of December. What will happen later on, we don't know, but until 30th of December, things are at a high pace in terms of what is required to be done. And we have very learned and eminent panelists who will be sharing their thoughts on this. Now, before what I would want is that each one of you can speak for about 5-6 minutes each, and then we can open it up I can ask you a question, and then we'll see how it goes. So, by turn, we'll start in the sequence that I have listed, which is about 5-6 minutes each on this. Now, before I hand over the session to Professor Vidyanand Jha, who is first on my list, some of my quick thoughts on this particular topic. In the last session, it was being said that it's a new thing and people have some kind of fear and things like that. That's the human nature. We have been taught as a student of management that human beings always resist change. If there is a change, nobody wants to do that change unless they are forced to do a change. No argument, no reasoning works here because people have got used to a certain way of doing things and that's how they are. So therefore change will not happen on its own. If it does happen on its own, it takes what is called organic time. It takes time and it will be very long before a tangible benefit is visible. So change has to happen. In this case, Mr. Pasi gave the example of eagle and eaglet kind of thing. Somebody has to push that you do this. So therefore, people have no choice but for survival, open their wings and do things. This is a very good example. And so I think we are into same kind of a situation here, where not on the official perspective, but informally people are talking that the government is deliberately not releasing 500 rupee notes. So that you do have 2000 rupee note, but it is worthless. So you can't go to a shop and give 2000 rupees and ask for a change after doing a shopping for 100 rupees, which was possible if earlier with a 1000 rupee note, you could go to a pawn shop and buy a pack of cigarette or something, or a few pans, and this guy would be happy to give you a change after 1000 rupees. Today, 2000 rupees is worthless from that perspective. So 500 rupee note is deliberately not being released so that people have this feeling that I do have money, but I can't do transactions. So therefore, the government is forcing everybody that you go to other modes of transaction, which is e-cash, debit card, credit card, or whatever, many options that is available. So this is a good thing. I'm sure things should shape up well. One or two things that I would like to share here is whenever new things come, people have this kind of a reservations. I read an article which said that, the plastic money or the e-cash which is being promoted by the government is having huge amounts of security concerns. It can be easily hacked. There are videos which are in circulation. There are conferences being held as to how easy it is to hack somebody's account. And there was a guy who was using a Paytm clip showing that because Paytm doesn't ask for a PIN at the point of transaction. So if your phone is unlocked, somebody can actually borrow your friend's phone and make a payment. So these are the concerns that are being raised. Somebody wrote a piece of article in popular newspaper saying that forget these kinds of social hacking. This is social hacking. You borrow a phone and then you do it. This is social hacking. The technical hacking can happen very easily, wherein you actually get the password of these guys, and those kinds of technical hacking may happen. So therefore you have to be careful and you have to be wary. You might have heard of the Axis Bank and ICICI Bank's credit card information that was leaked, I think, about a year back. So the banks released some warning that you be careful and check your accounts. Email accounts getting hacked. So when you have the passwords and the other relevant e-transaction details getting hacked, you have a problem. So when I was discussing this with someone, I said, look, when you have money in your pocket, okay, you don't think that it is very safe. Somebody can still take your money, right? A pickpocket can take your money. You can leave your purse. You can drop your purse. So there are umpteen ways that you lose whatever resource you have if you are not careful. So you have to be careful, and the care comes with time. You are okay until something bad happens, then you become more cautious. For example, I remember as a child, in I think it is 67, 68, I was grade 5, grade 6. My father brought in a pressure cooker and a cylinder, gas cylinder, in my home. And we had relatives dropping into our house, telling my mom, particularly ladies, that this pressure cooker is so dangerous that if you don't look into this properly, it can explode like a bomb. And the first casualty would be the woman who is in the kitchen. So pressure cookers are really very dangerous. You shouldn't use it. Now on a hindsight, you know how comfortable it is to use a pressure cooker. And the worst was the gas cylinder in our home. So, the guys who had a little technical knowledge, they would say, do you know how much pressure is there if the flame goes inside and this would explode? Not only you, your house, but the neighbor's house would also, get blasted. So, please don't use this. And that was the concern which was being raised at that point of time. Today you may sneer and laugh that, what is this concern? So similar is the concern today as far as the e-cash is concerned. We need to be aware of how do we use it more responsibly, how do we use it more carefully, and then therefore benefits are for us to enjoy. Without the cooking gas cylinder those days, the smokes would have created a lot of health issues. Without the pressure cooker, maybe our eating would have not been as comfortable as they are today. So times have changed, and you can link that to the e-cash syndrome which is kicking in today. Half the population says bad thing, half the population saying it's okay, right? So now we have eminent panelists with us. I would request them to share their views for about 5 to 6 minutes, and then we'll have open to the house Q&A. In the meanwhile, after they have done, if something comes to my mind, I might also like to ask the question. So I'll have a first call on the question if it comes to my mind, right? Thank you very much. Now may I invite Professor Vidyanand Jha.